Hi, welcome back to Jappie Vlogs, where we talk about finances apparently. This is just like the biggest thing on my mind, that's why I talk so much about it. There's a good reason for that, by the way. I got like a giant tax bill this year, and I was calculating the tax bill for next year, and it just ended up being like, 50,000 euros, and I was like, no way, man. Anyway, so I spoke to the fiscalist, and we have a plan here. I think it's more complicated than I thought. Okay, so well, first of all, the calculations are wrong. This tax bracket is higher. It's not 19%, or I think I had it at like 16% or something, but it's like 24.5%. It's just the way they present it on the website is confusing. So I corrected that. Next, we can definitely do this complicated structure. It's just more complicated for me, and I was like fine with that. And just like get me out of these taxes, Okay, and like this complicated structure where we have two companies actually is even more complicated because we are not going to make two companies, we're going to make three companies. There will be two BVs, and one will be executing the work, and the other one will hold all the profits essentially, all the excess profits. And there's a reason for that. What I've been calculating is the most efficient way to get the money out with paying the least amount of taxes, so you can see me experimenting in these columns. But what the fiscalist was recommending me to do is just to keep the money inside the BV, so we are essentially skipping this entire step. So if you do that, you see the tax burden drops drastically. And then I was thinking like, okay, if we do this, we keep the money inside the BV. Like eventually we want to get the money out somehow. Like what are strategies to do that? And one thing you can do is give yourself a loan, but I'm not a big proponent of that because, well, I mean, it's tax-free money, right? Like, but you have to pay it back. Loans have to be served at some point. And it's not just you can pretend this money doesn't exist anymore because that's like fraud. So you cannot do that. We want to keep things legal, okay? And then another suggestion he had is like, okay, we can just keep the money inside the BV and then we will liquidate it on retirement. However, I don't think that's an ideal solution either, because if you just use the normal retirement systems, you essentially pay no tax on income, and we got the profit tax in BV, right? So, I mean, I can artificially raise these incomes to like 50k, and then send 10k to my retirement account, and over that 10k I pay no taxes. That's just better. But the disadvantage of sending money to your retirement account is that you cannot use it anymore. It's like locked into there. So I want to send some money to the retirement account, probably like around 10,000, and then the rest I want to like keep inside the BV because it gives me options. Even though any profits I make on that money, I have to keep paying taxes on. I just feel more comfortable having it in my hands. But eventually what I can do if I actually need private money is send out a dividend and pay the 25% tax. But I can wait on that. Anyway, that was my rant about taxes in Netherlands. I think I have a strategy now. Alright, and there was like another thing in the fiscalist set. With this more complicated hybrid structure, I can choose my income. So I was just experimenting with the levels I had. So 40k is apparently the best. And I can't really go lower than 40k because I'm a software engineer, and comparable salaries in Netherlands are like 40k for software engineer. So I can, arguably claim that this is appropriate for me. So, that's good. It drops my taxes a little bit. But the downside is that I have debts to pay, and I may or may not be able to do this from 40k. I have to see. But if the money is ballooning inside the BV and I'm not like sending out dividends, then I can also borrow money from the BV, but I'm not going to do that because I just want to get rid of debt, essentially. There are too many payments. It will be like more efficient in interest rates if I pay down the debt immediately. However, I have to pay taxes over the profits of the interest, and that's bad in my opinion. Because now currently the person who is benefiting from these debts is my father. But if I, drag the money out of the BV and as a loan and not pay any taxes on it, actually the taxman will benefit from the interest I'm paying. So that's bad. It's better if my father profits from it than the taxman. So yeah, all of this is so complicated. Jesus Christ, I'm done with this now. Okay, like I'm not gonna talk about this anymore. Like I have a plan in my mind and it's done now. I can lay it to rest. Yeah, we can highlight this. This is the golden path, which I'm gonna do in the coming years probably. Yeah, and I think even getting the money out through this route is perfectly fine. Essentially, actually, there's a mistake in here as well because this goes only up to like 60K, and then the tax bracket becomes 33%. But that's fine, you know. I can deal with that later because you can just like decide to only emit so much per year. It's just good to have it on your hands instead of just assuming that it's all profit and you're gonna use it privately. Because that's not the case. Like I may need capital later on in my life, and as business capital, and it's just good to have like the money available in your company. I want to keep it liquid as well, and I'm not gonna do like any crazy shit with it, like buying buildings or whatever. That just doesn't seem like a good idea to me. So the most advanced stuff I may do is like buy bonds or like shares or whatever, but we'll see. Probably not. Like probably first a bank account. I just want to like ease into this. Okay, anyway, if you liked the video, please like the video. Thanks for watching. See you all later.